Hi everyone, Harry here to talk about one more judge who has had enough and is determined to hold the administration's feet to the fire in order to remedy the unconstitutional deportation of a man. I think this is the fourth pretty well documented case who was deported notwithstanding an order that had been previously given saying do not deport this guy. All right, the deportee is known as Cristian. He came to the States as a minor, as a 20-year-old, and he joined a class action that resulted in an order being given that as to all these minors, don't deport them. At least not for now. Now, maybe that could be changed. Indeed, it's likely that the Trump administration could try to fight and reverse that. But with this order standing, they ship him nevertheless down to CCOT in El Salvador. Okay, we've seen now the individual judges kind of react in similar ways, but at each turn with a little bit more rhetorical force, a little bit more ire, a little bit more frustration with the administration, a little bit more willingness, and this is remarkable. It shows what odd times we're in, to basically call the administration out for its squirreliness, evasion, and sometimes, flat out mendacity. So Cristian is deported mistakenly, and the judge, Judge Gallagher in Maryland, had found that and had said, facilitate efforts, as we've heard in these other cases, to bring him back. So far, they have not. And today, she entered the same kind of order that Judge Boasberg has entered, or Judge Zinnes has entered in their cases, to try to say, I'm holding your feet to the fire. I want to know what's going on. And so what she said is, every week, you're going to give me information, exactly what you've done, what you're trying to do to bring this guy home. There has been a representation that the Secretary of State is going to be making efforts with President Bukele in El Salvador to return some of the people who are down there. I want to know, says Judge Gallagher, what are you doing? And tell me week in, week out. Now notice, it's the same kind of order that Judge Boasberg originally entered in the aftermath of March 15th. And the administration's response was to bob and weave and file these sort of substance-free, sort of boilerplate statements that said nothing, and then he'd say, no, I mean it, and they did it again. But now there's a series of cases, right? The more recent ones, and I actually have a Substack about that up today, in which the administration is not in the same way just shutting down the effort. So Gallagher is saying, as Judge Murphy did, and as we see Judge Zinn is trying to do, I want to really figure out what's going on here. I understand there may be things on the other side. You can make your arguments here. But she's turned a corner and is trying very hard to be as diligent and demanding of the administration here as other judges have been in the last week or two. So the worm is sort of turned here, and she, I think, is quite clearly, and she's a Trump appointee, by the way, but is quite clearly going to be in the posture of not just accepting any kind of boilerplate kind of bureaucratic speak, and not just deferring to the administration, but rather demanding to know what the basis is if they continue to proffer it for not bringing him home promptly. And so now, one more prisoner, the fourth, as I say, who seems to have been mistakenly deported, is on the I'm not kidding. Yes, we have to facilitate, but by facilitate, I'm pretty much mean do it. and I want regular reports until you do. So one more mistakenly deported prisoner who, there seems to be sort of breaks in the dam here, and this is another one where a judge will be riding herd and very tight on the administration until he is brought back. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.